From the Oklahoman newsroom, it's time for the Energy FC Weekly Update. I'm Jenny Carlson here in studio, joined by the coach, Steve Cook. Good to have you again, Steve.
Thank you.
And midfielder, can't even get out your position, Marco. Marco Bustos joins us for the first time. We're glad to have you, and glad to have you both here to talk about how things have been going. Obviously, over the course of the last few weeks, very, very good. Didn't get a winning result last time out, unfortunately. A 1-0 loss at Swope Park. You guys had a 4-game win streak that got cut short there. But, Steve, lots of good chances, and really for a team that had been scoring a lot, it just didn't happen for your guys at Swope Park.
Yeah, it's a funny game. I think for 15 or 16 games now, we've been in really good form, and obviously the 4 games prior, we scored a lot of goals and 4 straight wins. And some days, you know, I was a bit disappointed with the start we had. I think it was a little bit of a slow start to the game. And then once 30 minutes or so had gone and we'd kind of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit, I think we played really well, created some great chances. And, you know, we created in many cases some better chances in this game than we have been doing. But some days the goalkeeper makes great saves and it doesn't quite go in. But as always, the players worked extremely hard, were committed to the task, and almost got a reward for it later on in the game.
You know, Marco, you guys outpossessed them in the first half, 72-28. I mean, you guys were able to have possession and get some opportunities. Was there frustration, or did you just feel like, you know, some matches you're just not going to be able to put one in the back of the net?
I think I don't think frustration, but you know, sometimes you feel as players on the field, you feel like, oh, you know, nothing's really happening for us. But I think that's when you just gotta stay focused and keep going, because, you know, the game is made of small moments, and when that moment comes, you gotta, you know, put the ball in the net.
Cody Larendry gave you guys a chance to even it up. I mean, his play in goal was pretty spectacular for you guys, Marco.
Yeah, no, he was huge. You know, in a game of soccer, you know, the 11 guys are huge, and I think the saves he made kept us in the game for sure.
He's been playing at a really high level, Steve. I mean,
yeah.
You guys have had pretty decent goaltending all year, but
yeah.
You've really sort of seen, as the offense has escalated, your goalkeeping has been pretty good too.
Yeah, it's been great all year, you know, starting with Matt Van Okel, and then Brian Byers came in, and now Cody Larendry, and every single one of them has not only performed really well, but they've been focused, and all 3 team leaders, and lately Cody Larendry has come in and been a real leader for us, not only on the field but off the field as well. He's a great guy. He deserves any recognition that comes his way, because he certainly, not only has he fought hard to come back from his injury, but he's certainly, while he's been in, really committed himself to the task, and there's no mistake, he's been big for us. I thought this weekend he made 2 or 3 fantastic saves, and as Marco says, he kept us in the game. Unfortunately, we just couldn't quite get that one over the line to get us the points.
As we look ahead, you'll be without him and a couple other guys. We'll talk about that in a second, but you guys are getting ready to head out for a little West Coast swing. Saturday night match at Orange County SC. That starts at 9, and then you're staying out west for another match on Wednesday, LA Galaxy 2. That's a 9:30 start on the following Wednesday. Marco, what's the challenge of when you have a road trip like this? You guys have been pretty good of late, both road and home, but to have 2 away, I'm sure schedule changes and all that sort of stuff. In your mind, what's the biggest challenge of that?
For me, I think, you know, I look at it more as a positive. I think going away and, you know, getting away from kind of the distractions you got at home. And I think having the group together, you know, will make us a lot stronger once the first game comes around, because that's really what we're thinking about, is the game against Orange County.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, I think we just got to go there and upset them in their house.
I mean, Steve, Marco hits on something. You guys have had some other 2-gamers out there on the road and have turned out pretty well. Some of the stuff he's talking about sounds like probably what you guys have had happen.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it is about mentality, and as Marco says, he's 100% correct. It's how you approach games, and I think I look at it as a great opportunity to go away from home and play really well in somebody else's place. There's nothing better than winning on the road and having a big crowd silenced when you get the result. And I think we've done well on the road, we've performed well on the road, we've got good results on the road this season, so make no mistake, we'll go there not only hoping for 3 points and then making it 6, but we'll be expecting to do well, you know. So I think our guys have really equipped themselves on the road well this season, and as Marco says, it's only a positive. We bring the group together, we work hard together, and we hopefully therefore we'll come back with the points.
Before that match against Swope Park last week, we were talking about the fact that you guys had played them earlier, but it was so much earlier in the season. The team had changed a lot. Well, Orange County, very similar. You guys played them at the end of March. I mean, guys like Marco weren't even here.
Yeah.
Do you even look at that film, Steve, as you get ready for that match?
We do look at it. Mostly because some of their players are still remaining, and we look at it from a standpoint of what did we do that day to hurt them, and what could they have done that day to make it difficult for us as well. But you know, I think when I look back at the second game of the season playing Orange County and look at not only where we are today but who we have with us as well, we've not only brought players in but some others moved away as well, and I think it's a totally different group. And I think certainly from a mentality standpoint, from a togetherness standpoint, I think we're much stronger than we were then. And I think also from a quality standpoint, we've added some great quality players, Marco being one, and every single player that we've added this season has meant a great deal to the group, not only again in terms of what they bring on the field, but they're all great characters, they're great personalities, and therefore help the group in so many different ways.
And Marco, you talked about taking this team on the road, being together, but you're going to be missing three guys. I mentioned Cody before. He, along with Jaime Siaj, Atiba Harris, will be with national team call-ups, will miss Orange County. It's interesting that these guys are sort of divided against different groups, so it's not like you have three forwards that are going to be out of the mix, or you lose all your goalkeepers or something. But still, to be without those three guys, that's going to be an interesting challenge for this team.
100%, but that's, you know, the beautiful thing about the game that we play is, you know, you got a squad of 25 or so players that, you know, that's why everybody trains hard every day, so when they get their chance to play, they perform well and put their name back in the coach's mind.
Yeah, and I guess too, you guys have had a chance to prepare for these guys being gone. It's not like a last-minute injury, so I assume some practice strategy would probably help you to prepare for that.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, you know, we train every day hard, and you know, when guys get their opportunity, they just got to grab it with both hands.
Yeah, I mean, Steve, this is a rare thing. You don't have many teams at any level that have three guys called up in one season and have them all gone at the same time. I guess this is a challenge. You just say, you know what, it's such a great opportunity, you accept it and move on.
Yeah, firstly, it's a great honour for the player and players in this case. You know, to have three guys leave at the same time tells me where we've come. You know, it tells me that we've got a great group of people playing in a way that is going to be recognised by people outside of our group. And as I say many times, it's one of my favourite phrases, is one man's omission is another man's opportunity. And we ask every player to work hard every day, making certain that they're ready for their opportunity. I'm certain that the players that will come in will take that opportunity. And again, I don't concern myself with who's playing. I'm just really concerned with those that are going to be playing, are prepared in the right way and are hungry enough to go and get the 3 points.
And the plan, at least at this point, as I understand it, is Cody and Atiba will be back for that second game on this West Coast swing. So they'll rejoin you guys in progress, I guess. Yeah,
that's correct. Obviously, Jaime's a little bit further away in Jordan, so it's more difficult for him to get back. But Atiba and Cody will be back for the LA game. You know, we'll welcome them back with open arms. They've been key for us recently. But again, I think everyone's going to step up. It takes, over the course of a season, it takes a big squad of players. It takes everybody working hard together and being on the same page. If you're going to be successful, it's not about one or two players, it's about a whole group. And I think the culture we've built in the locker room this season has been important for us, and I have no doubt in my mind that the players will be absolutely fantastic when called upon.
I assume too, Marco, as I think about the weather and the conditions you guys have been practicing and somewhat playing under, it's going to be nice to head to Southern California where it's always 70 and sunny. I mean, that should be a nice recharge for you guys.
Yeah, no, it'd be nice. Like, you know, that's the beautiful thing about obviously going to play home and away is you get different climates, different grass pitches, turf fields, and that's kind of the culture that we live in now. And you know, it's cool that, you know, we get to go to Southern California where it's sunny. Maybe on a day off we can go to the beach. But
twisting arms as we talk here, Coach.
But no, at the end of the day, you know, we're both playing in the same field, same weather, and at the end of the day, you know, it's just go out there with the mentality to win.
I don't think they'll have a heat index of over 100 like we've had around here though recently, so that'll be a nice change of pace for you guys. Marco, we got you in this week to talk a little bit about you because you're a recent addition to this squad. August, you joined the Energy. played a majority of your professional career in Vancouver with the Whitecaps, 22 goals in 57 matches, and you were on loan down to the Mexican League for a couple games as well. But you're a Canadian by birth, so the fact that you were in the Vancouver system, talk a little bit about how all of that progressed for you.
Yeah, I went to Vancouver at 15 years of age back in 2010. There was they were first starting this residency program, and they brought in about 70 kids from across Canada, and they ended up choosing about 30, and I happened to be one of the 30, and it was a full-time residency program. Went there, and you know, the beginning was tough. You know, moving away from home, your family at the age of 15 is not easy. Sure. And you know, as time went on, and grasping sort of the way to be a professional, and getting the opportunities to practice with the first team and, you know, show my qualities to the coaches and everyone else. Yeah. And then I signed a pro MLS deal 5 years back. And but yeah, no, it was, you know, it was a great experience. And then I had the chance to go out on a loan deal to a team in Mexico. And that was an experience, you know, that I'll take on board, and I'll have that experience for the rest of my life.
I assume your experience is probably exactly what anybody that sets up a development system would want, in that you played on the U16, U18, U20, U23, and then you make your MLS debut. I mean, anybody that's trying to develop that type of system, I would think you're right there in what they want Exhibit A to be. You did exactly what they would want, I would think.
You know, that's the goal of any, I think, academy is, you know, bring a player up and get him into the first team. And there were quite a few of us in my age group, and you know, we took our chances. And you know, like I always say to myself, you never know who's watching, and you know, you always got to put a performance on, and whether it's in training, a friendly match, or a match like we're gonna have this weekend. So.
You also represented Canada on U17, U20, and on the full national team. Give us a sort of lay of the land of soccer in Canada. We know how crazy soccer is sort of south of the American border in both Mexico and Latin America, South America, but what's it like up in Canada? You
know, it's growing. Every year it's growing, and you know, when you speak about Canadians, hockey sort of comes up first. Yeah. But I think now, you know, so many kids are joining the sport, and you know, you have your Vancouver Whitecaps, Montreal Impact, Toronto FC, and now they're starting a professional Canadian league, and that's going to be huge for the young players coming up. Yeah, you talked about learning how to become a professional. What do you think you most took away from that academy experience with the Whitecaps that you even carry through to today? You know, the experience I think I took away was seeing myself mature as a person. You know, you go in as a young player, a young person. And I think the difference between the guys who make it and the guys who don't at a young age are the ones who show a bit more personality and, you know, grow up faster. And I think that was the experience that I took on. Yeah, not a lot of people move away from home at 15 and are sort of have to be self-sufficient and get themselves to practice and bed and dinner and all that sort of stuff. Your first home appearance with the Energy, extremely memorable. You checked in, and almost immediately, it almost took you longer to get on the field than to score your first goal in that home match versus Seattle, a team sort of in your neck of the woods from where you're from in Vancouver. And then we had the shirt-off celebration. You did it all in like your first 30 seconds at home, Marco. I mean, you were having some fun out there. Yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, emotions kind of take control, and I felt going into the game, I felt really confident in myself that, you know, I was going to go on and, you know, make a difference and score. And I didn't think it would take 30 seconds, but... If that. I'm not sure it even took 30 seconds, and there you are, of course, just a little celebration. And Steve, we were talking about this before we started. You're okay with the shirt-off celebration, right? I'm okay with Marco taking his shirt off. I'll probably be leaving mine on for a little while here, but fair enough. Certainly, you know, as Marco said, it was a terrific goal, a great finish. It kind of put us
over the top in that game to win the game. And I think when you score your first goal for any team, it's a big, big moment for a player. And I don't mind at all how they celebrate. The referee gave him his yellow card, so hopefully he stays out of trouble for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you can't do that too much, but for the first one, something to remember it by,
yeah,
right?
No, I mean, I scored, and I always had. You always think, before you're going to score, what am I going to do to celebrate? And honestly, I didn't know what I was going to do, and it just came up. So whatever came to my mind, I just did it.
You blacked out, and before you knew it, you were like, where's my jersey?
Yeah.
Hey, it happened. We were talking a couple weeks ago about everybody pushing to score. You guys have been getting such great production out of your forwards, but you from those midfield positions and the other guys out there, I mean, obviously the goals have been coming, but what's sort of been the mentality as it relates to, being in those midfield spots, but still being really conscious of getting up and trying to put the ball in the back of the net?
Yeah, I think in a position that I like to play in, I think it's important that in that position that that you get goals from the midfield, because I think it takes a little pressure off the forwards as well, always having to score. And I think if a team can get goals from midfield, that'll add another 10, 15 goals a season.
Sure.
That could put us in first place.
How's Marco's presence on your team changed things, Steve? I mean, his background, obviously, the pedigree is pretty strong.
Yeah, for a young player, Marco's a very mature young man, and as you know, we've travelled and been around the world a little bit and had some experiences that other people maybe don't get to do. Marco brings not only a great talent, and his talent is evident for everyone to see, but also what people don't always see is the training mentality and the first day in the locker room, knowing that he's going to put his heart and soul into every single training session, making certain that he lives the right way off the field as well is important, and making sure take care of nutrition. So as a young player, not only is he an example to other young players, but he's also an example to older players who maybe don't live in the same way all the time. So from a character perspective, from a personality perspective, been terrific, always fun to be around, lively and bubbly every day in training. Scored a goal with his head this morning. I think that, he said it was the second of his career with his head.
Wow.
So that was terrific, and he just a great joy to be around. We're very fortunate to have Marco and other players like him.
Keep doing stuff like that and he'll let you go to the beach while you're in Southern California. All right, they're headed out west Saturday night. It's Orange County at 9 o'clock Oklahoma time, and then Wednesday a 9:30 match at LA Galaxy 2. And you can go to energyfc.com for all the details about game times, tickets for upcoming matches, and anything related to the Energy. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.